All right, welcome to the first ever Emo Kids podcast. We're from LA, so I think we had to do a podcast as well to fit in. So introducing you all the band. Some of you guys may know us, some of you may not. But this is our first ever podcast. We're going to go through everything emo. Our brand is celebrating everything emo. So you're going to hear a lot of bullshit from just being in a band and also bullshit about emo. So I'll let everyone kind of go through, introduce themselves. First of all, I'm Jordan. I'm the singer in Emo Kids, and this is
Sam. I'm the guitar player in Emo Kids.
I'm Jason. I play drums.
My name's Steve. I play guitar.
I'm Randall. I play sometimes.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
He plays when he can.
I do play the bass when I do play.
Like all elder emos, he's got back problems.
Yeah, so some of you guys that know us, Randall has been in and out of some shows because he's dealing with some health issues, but he's still our boy, and so we still invited him to this podcast.
I feel like back problems would be a funnier way to put it, because when you say someone has health issues, I automatically think like cancer or something like that. Or
Sorry.
Like, his lungs don't work or something like that.
He has back problems, not health
Your back
issues.
is your health.
Oh man, it sucks.
All right, so Sam, do you play any other instruments?
I do. I play drums every now and then when I can. And that's about it. I try to scream, but sometimes sometimes it works.
Let the fans decide if you can scream.
Oh, hey, backing tracks are a blessing.
Yeah. Backing tracks are always helpful.
They are.
What about you, Jason? You play another instrument?
I play some power chords, and then I played the recorder back in the day.
He plays the gigolo.
Jason plays the gigolo. It's an old Italian instrument. What about you, Steve? How many instruments do you play, buddy?
I don't even know. At least 4. I play guitar and bass originally growing up, drums and piano in my 20s. I rap, produce, and I can play a little violin, a little saxophone.
All right, Jesus Christ, shut up. Shut up. All right.
Overachiever.
I'm Asian.
Maybe.
I gotta be like someone. We gotta have a token Asian musician in the band.
Yeah, of course. So his parents made him play every instrument, or else he
Started
couldn't
with the
have dinner.
violin for sure.
He wasn't allowed to have dinner.
Not true, by the way.
Just kidding, Steve's parents. If you see this. All right, Randall, how many instruments do you play, buddy?
I play the tabs.
Funny story. I guess we'll probably get into this stuff later, but like when Randall joined the band, he couldn't even tune his bass for like 5 years. He would always have to hand us the bass to tune, like then we give it back to him. I'm Jordan. I'm the 4th drummer of the band. Believe it or not, there are 4 drummers in Emo Kids. I was actually the original drummer for a split second. Actually, only for half a show. I was only technically drummer of Emo Kids for half a show.
Yeah.
And then
The
Jason.
birthday show.
The birthday.
Yeah,
my birthday
right,
show.
birthday show.
Jason came in and played the rest of the show, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the current singer of the band, and this is actually the first time I've ever been the lead singer of a band. For what now? Like 9 months?
At least.
About 9 months now.
No, a year.
Well, it was March.
Already?
It's March 31st, I think, was the first one, right? Yeah,
That's
show.
right.
I actually play guitar and bass as well, a little bit of piano, but I'm not Asian, so that's about it. that's all I play.
Yeah, genetic lottery.
I think he's the only one in the band to have played every instrument.
I'm the only one in the band that has played every instrument in the band, but not lead, because I'm not that good at lead guitar. But it still counts as guitar.
It does.
So how did we all meet? Who should start this one? Let's maybe start probably the longest relationship here is probably me and Randall, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so
yeah.
Randall and I met. What were you 14 years old, or was I 14 years old?
No, I was like 12, dude.
Okay, so I was 14 when I met Randall.
He's old, by the way.
How old are you now?
I'm only like a year and a half older than
Yeah,
Randall.
he's gonna hit 40 before me.
I'm going to turn 39 in a couple weeks. So see by the time you see this podcast at the end of January. But yeah, I guess I was 14 years old. What was the first thing that happened? Like, I think was I like in my garage and you and Scott came over? Like, was that what? Remember, I was playing hockey or something. Was that what it was?
Yeah, because I played hockey.
Yeah.
That's why we like bonded.
So Randall comes over with his like that 90s penis haircut that like is like parted in the middle.
Can we upload a picture of that?
we should
Came
find
from Boy Meets World.
We should find a picture of
We
Randall.
should, but then remember we started playing together without Scott.
Hold on.
I hated us.
You're jumping ahead too far. You're jumping ahead too far. Yeah, so like it was like one of those things, you're 14 and 12, and I think I was shooting into a cardboard box, wasn't I? Like in my garage. I'm like shooting it, and we're like oh yeah, can you do this? He's like, oh yeah, can you do this? So we're like kind of feeling each other out, you know, at that young age, right? And at that point, we're like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, right? Yeah, but from there, like, so me and this guy down the street, Scott, hi Scott, if you ever see this, we were already in a band, right? I don't even know if I had a drum set at that point, but I had I was, you know, the Rubbermaid like Tupperware things. I mean, there's one right there.
You're literally playing out.
I would literally be hitting at the top of
Really?
a
Like
popcorn
those kids in
can that
Africa?
you get at Christmas.
What'd you have for cymbals?
Metal can. I don't even know. Did I have cymbals? I can't remember. Anyway, but we'd play these like single string things and like record it on like a tape cassette player. Like that was our band, right? And then we're like, we need a bass player. And so this new kid comes into town. He's like a jock, like a total jock. And we're like, do you know any instruments? And he's like, no, I play football.
And Yoshi's Story
And Yoshi
on Nintendo 64.
And Yoshi's
None
Story.
of you wanted to play with me. I was so upset about it.
Clearly, Yoshi's Story was a big part of Randall's childhood. But then, so we're like, okay, well, you're going to be in our band. And I think at the time, like, Korn was really big. He's like, I'll be the DJ. That's what he wanted to originally be in the band,
Dude,
right?
my dad bought me an entire kit, and I decided I didn't want to do it anymore.
Didn't you
Sent
go to get it for Christmas? You like returned it, right?
it?
Like
He sent
minute?
it back.
Oh,
You
he
guys
said-
convinced me to play the bass.
So yeah, for what I don't know how can't remember the story, but somehow we convinced him to not be the DJ player. Thank God, thank God, and he became our bass player. But again, like I mentioned earlier, he didn't really know what he was doing, and so we had to kind of like tell him what to do. Or like, okay, now you hit this note for 4 times, and then you hit this note for 4 times. And we had to like kind of teach him that. And so like as we went by, that's all he would do, just memorize how many times to hit whatever note. And that was him playing music. And then again, but again, I don't even know how many years it was before he couldn't tune his bass. We'd be in the middle of shows, and we have to like tune it for him and hand it back.
Pretty bad.
was pretty-
You know, like going fast forward real quick, I got into the CSUN music program, trying out, learning. I think it was like can't remember, The Scientist. I played that on piano. All memory. I had no idea what I was doing on piano.
Yeah. I used to cheat that way too when I was in piano class. Like I couldn't read that shit. I'd just be like, just memorize it. That's all you got to do. Yeah, but try to get me to read music but yeah, so I mean that's pretty much how we met. I mean we got so many fucking stories from there. But let's go to the next longest group of guys that know each other, Jason and Steve.
Oh yeah.
Well, technically, I know you two longer than.
Oh, that's
I know.
true.
yeah.
Okay,
I know
Steve,
Jason.
you take over. How did you meet me and Randall first?
So I played in a band in high school as well. Very similar story to these two with another friend of ours who's actually played for Emo Kids, Nick Pucci. What's up,
Nick, what's up, Nick?
If you're watching this, him and I moved in together, and we both had Blink-182 in common. So, and he was like, dude, I play guitar. And I was like, fuck yeah, like, I'll get a bass. So I mail ordered a bass from Musician's Friend and $100. And, you know, we played Korn and Limp Bizkit. And then I played in a band with him all throughout high school. He went to high school with this guy, a private school.
Yeah, but you guys live across the street.
We were
from each
neighbors
other, right?
from each other, but I went to
Steve Allen. There's the neighbor thing.
I went to the public school. He went to school with Randall. Nick ended up joining Randall and Jordan's
That's right,
band
I
at
stole
the
him from
time.
you guys.
Yeah, they stole my guitar player.
Oh
when
man,
we
there's
were-
a story there.
We were kids. We were like 15, and so my band was all pissed off at Nick. Like, oh, I can't believe you're going, but you know, Randall and all those guys are cool.
I'm good at what I do.
And so we parted ways. We were always friends growing up, playing in bands together. Then in college, we all started new bands. From those, they were the same members for the most part, with the exceptions of new additions. One of the new additions in my band was Jason, and Jason joined the picture in 2007. So I was 20 and he was like 23.
Yeah, all of you were under 21. I
Yeah, we're
remember
all
that. I
babies.
was the only one who could drink.
Yep.
I think I was the only one buying us beer.
Yep, and you were the rock star because we were all just a bunch of local town fucking hillbillies. And Jason comes in, he's all
California-
tan. He's
California-
all tan from Warped
The
Tour.
California hillbillies.
He has his mohawk. He's got like sick ass like sleeveless shirt on, and he's all like.
We'll have to upload a picture of what that looks
Yeah,
like too.
yeah. We're all like, damn, this guy's got style. He can play our song. He wrote us all the sheet music for our songs.
I was so nervous though.
And we accepted him right away, and we, over the next 3 years we played together in that band.
Just about.
And then the next band, which Jason actually still jams with, Culprit, now Helm, I played guitar in with Jason for about 2 years, and that was in 2014.
Yeah, what a quick chapter.
That was quick. Quick.
I forgot about that. Anthony played in the band too.
Anthony Reeder.
Yeah. No, Weiss.
Oh, Weiss.
Yeah.
What's up, Anthony
What's up,
and Brant? We have so many friends we're going to be shouting out on this podcast all the time. But anyway,
right.
So that kind of set me, Jason, and obviously Jordan and Randall, over the years, they got to know each other. Our bands played together. Simply Scenic Attraction and Down for the Count.
And me and Jason were the drummers, so we always had that connection together.
But we did bond over our house parties.
Oh, yeah.
We also, well, not to mention, we were all just
True.
buddies growing up. So I have probably a dozen stories, except for Sam, about one blacked
Yeah,
out
he slept
drunken
on my
night.
staircase.
I've seen these guys in every party, Halloween costume, New Year's.
Yeah, what was that astronaut trying to like?
You're an
save
astronaut. You look more like a white condom, but astronaut, sure, if you say so.
Running down the street, like, don't take Jordan away from me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, one of those parties definitely didn't happen at my parents' house because I would never disrespect my parents
Mom
like
and
that. But yeah, I got arrested dressed as Mario, and
I remember that.
maybe that's a story for another time. But yeah, so we our bands played together. So how long have we known each other, Randall? I mean, I do 22 years, something like that. No,
Yeah,
24 years now. 24 years. It was
Yeah,
14,
12. I'm 31.
Yeah, only 12 years. And then, yeah, so Jason, how long have you guys known each other? 20?
Now 17.
Since what, 2007?
17 years.
Yeah.
So
17 years, but our band's been playing together for however long
basically
in that
20 years
that period.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and Jason and I kind of just kept in touch, really more just on Facebook and messaging and shit like that.
Well, I remember you came out to it was a Culprit show, I think, back years ago.
When Randall was my roommate.
It was at the Federal, which recently closed.
Knitting Factory.
Knitting Factory above the Federal, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, what's up, man? Like, good to see you." And then I got the call from you recently, a year ago, almost.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you want to play some covers?
So that leads us to the next thing. Like, how did you join actually, before that,
the last person who got
Sam is the new guy in the equation, but
he's the new guy in the group, but he's the original of the band.
Yeah,
right.
It's true.
So this kind of leads into the next thing.
Fits right in.
Well, yeah, exactly right.
We all know each other from years ago.
Longest.
I just met Sam, but I feel like you've been part of the group since from
the
beginning.
So yeah, but the next question it leads us into is like, how did you join the band? So Sam, you've been a little bit quiet, so I'm gonna let you tell the story of how this happened. How did this really start?
I could go on.
How did you join the band technically? Actually, you should start before Emo Kids and before even me.
That's where I was gonna go.
Okay, go.
So, yeah,
I
I was. I played with another emo band that I started with a old buddy of mine. Man, we had jammed before I met Jordan, like, and Emo Kids started. We probably started jamming emo covers like 2 to 3 years before that, but it has never really materialized into anything. We had a band name.
What was it?
But it was Boys Who Cry.
Okay.
And we had like other rotating members. It was myself and a guy named Bobby, and we had other rotating people come in. Just the idea was great, but it just never sounded perfect. Finally, like, we kind of resuscitated the idea about a year before I met these guys, and we started practicing, and then we kind of got somewhat of a core group together. And then we started playing shows, and it was fun, and like the reception was pretty cool. We were playing in Hollywood, and then other areas around town, and then fast forward a little bit, our drummer told us that the next show that we were playing was going to be his last show. I believe this was in October of 2022. Yeah. So we were like, okay, well, shit, got to look for a new drummer, but we'll play this last one with him. And so the venue was at Cruisers in Huntington Beach, one of my favorite bars to go to ever, actually. But we played there, and at the end of the set, Jordan comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey man, just so you know, I play drums and I know all of your songs."
What do I sound like that?
Wait, that was his last show?
So that was our drummer's last
no
show.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coincidentally,
Sorry, I'm just
great.
acting. I'm a terrible actor.
Sam makes me sound like, hey man, hey,
Trying to tell the story.
hey, can I be your man?
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
like when Randall met me with his penis haircut. That's what you're making me sound like right now.
You welcome me with open arms. Man.
Penis haircut and all.
Anyway, so he's like, hey,
upload a photo later.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, sorry, go.
That's okay. So he's like, I know all your songs. And he said, if you guys ever need a new drummer, let me know. I was like, well,
let's be honest. I was more tactful than that. I was just like, if you ever need a sub for any reason, I wasn't trying to like get the guy kicked out. But I'm like, if like he had some back problems like Randall did, maybe I'll.
Hey,
honestly, the way I remember things is a little different because somebody bought me like 4 tequila shots during the set, and I was gone.
Wait, Sam, do not believe him. When he tried to get me in there, and he's like, you better have your shit together when you come play. Because we're getting...
That's a tip. Well, we're not there yet. So hold on. We'll figure out how you join the band in a second.
Yeah, it's all you, bro.
Keep going.
But anyway, so eventually Jordan, our old bass player Ike, hit up Jordan to come in, and Jordan came in and practiced with us.
Hold on. Actually, before that, you gotta say it right. I exchanged numbers with Sam. I'm like, dude, yeah.
that's true, yeah.
He was like, yeah. Well, this is the drummer's last show. Like, we got some shows coming up. I'm totally gonna hit you up. Fucking nothing. The guy just like ghosted me like a fucking chick.
I kind of did because we were gonna have Kevin play with us. What's up, Kevin?
Kevin's over there, by the way.
Kevin's running our sound right
We'll put a picture in there later too.
Yeah, I know.
So he ghosted me for you, Kevin. By the way,
I did. Yeah.
I lasted one practice.
And I wanted to keep it going, and I actually had no say. Like, it's what's funny was like we were jamming. We jammed once with Kevin. I thought it went cool, and then the next time that we came in, Ike just did a secretive thing. He hit up Jordan, and then Jordan just shows up at the practice, and I had no idea. He was like, "Wait, I know you," and
yeah. It was. I remember I was playing flag beach volleyball in Huntington Beach, and I get a call from Ike. There's a bunch of jocks in the band, by the way. I get a call from Ike. It was like 6 o'clock. He's like, "Hey man, can you make practice tonight?" I'm like, "What?" It's 6:30. He's like, "Yeah, can you get here at 9?"
Bass player at Boise.
Wait, Jordan, you sabotaged Ike who brought you into the band?
Hold on. You're not even... Wait for your part of the story, man. Shut the fuck up for a second. All right. So, like, I call you. Can you be here at 9? It's like 6:30. I'm like, okay. And I'm in Huntington Beach again, and the studio we practice in is in downtown Los Angeles. So I'm like, I got to leave in like an hour and a half maybe, and that's after taking his shower from this sweaty sand shit that I'm in. So now continue now. Go.
Anyway, so yeah, Jordan comes in and he just murders the entire set, and we're like, perfect. And
told you I knew the songs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. He's like, I was like, okay, cool. It worked out, and then where do we go from there? What do we do? It was you, me, Ike, and Bobby.
So it was us four in this other band, and we had a couple shows together. I mean, I don't know, 4 or 5 maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, it started out great.
Where'd you play?
We played at what was that bar in Hollywood called?
Bar Sinister.
Bar Sinister.
Oh, well, no, it's Decades.
Club Decades.
Decades.
Which is pretty fun. We had a blast point.
We had two shows there.
Two shows there, yeah.
Randall, did you play there once with us? He played Decades once.
Yeah.
He must have been the second one. We had some other. I think there was like a house party. That was with him too, though.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Oh, did we have that? We had that like
we had a private event kind of thing.
Private event like
in
the
Highland Park
Lodge or something like that.
Yeah, like a VA, not a VA.
We didn't get paid for that either. That was
we did that house party that first
I don't know who was booking our shows at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you want to say how Randall started coming into the band and why Ike?
Oh yeah, Ike wanted to be an actor, so he's like, hey, I need to go to like Chicago.
Me too, by the way.
That's right.
Just not very good.
But at this point, Bobby was still in the band, right?
Yeah.
Bobby, Ike, me, and him. So we had one guitarist. By the way, I got to shout out. Sam was playing 2 guitar parts. He was just looping parts, so he would play it over.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't have to do that anymore.
It was quite a feat. So bravo,
yeah.
Sam.
What I did was for all the guitar players out there, what I would do, and we weren't playing to a click at that point. I had to for an example, for let's say I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance, when the part before the first verse is the same guitar part as the choruses. So I would play the rhythm guitar part for the very beginning, or I guess I would play the lead in the very beginning, and I would loop that with the Boss RC5 pedal, and then I would
Damn.
stop the loop,
Nerd.
and then I would just hope that we
Nerd.
stayed on time.
Fucking guitar
And
nerd.
when the chorus hit, I would hit that, and it would trigger the lead part, and I would play the rhythm part below that. But half the time, like, we would always get off time, and it would fuck it up, so I would have to stop it. So I was always like trying to listen with one ear to make sure that, like,
And here's the thing: I could play to a click, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." But we found out playing to a click and looping, unless he was robotically perfect, was
Which
not
I'm
a good
not.
idea. So I'd have to we'd have to like play with each other and like try to play to the loop and all that stuff. So it was a trick. But yeah, anyway, we were a 4-piece, and there was a moment where
4 and a
Ike,
half pieces.
4.5 piece. So Ike got like some sort of potential role that was going to take him to the East Coast or something.
Chicago
Like,
or East Coast,
Chicago
like-
PD or something like. Wasn't that like
I know
the show?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And he's like, I may have to miss this show that's coming up because I'm not sure if I'm going to get this call back. Seems like you should prepare for, some other bass player. So I was like, well, my buddy, actually that I played with growing up, he lives down the street. I'm sure he'd be stoked to at least sub, right? So I think then I called Randall up. I'm like, hey man, I'm doing this like cover band thing. Do you wanna play bass for someone? And he's like, yeah man. See, I didn't make him sound like all weird when I said this.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, and Randall? Do you remember what you said when I got or where you were when I called you or texted you? You remember?
No.
No, okay. So anyway,
Do you remember where you were on?
long story short, Randall does the same thing. He comes into practice and just slays, which I knew he was because he's probably.
Did he play the whole set or like a portion?
I mean,
of
it was
the set?
20, probably 15 songs, probably the first practice.
Yeah,
At least,
okay.
I mean, a good amount
Sure,
for your
sure,
first
yeah,
time. And he
yeah.
shows up and just plays them perfectly. And so,
Right.
I knew he would. He's one of the best bass players I know, if not the best. But I also know Steve, and he's a great bass player. So that's why I can't.
Steve's better than
That's
me.
what I can't say.
Let's
He's
not-
also lead
let's
guitar,
not
so
go
I don't know.
I
I don't know. He doesn't throw his back out like you though. So there's that.
He doesn't rock out as hard as
There's
Randall
that.
does either.
Yeah, so-
Neither do I.
But wait,
Nobody rocks out as
You
hard
guys
as
know
Randall.
that the first
Nobody.
show I played with you guys, I got into a car accident.
Right before?
Yeah.
Or after?
So I rear-ended someone. I'm like freaking out. And I get to that
fault was it?
Hollywood show.
Oh, I remember
find
that.
a parking spot. And then the first song is "What's My Age Again?" And I just butchered it.
Oh, I remember it.
It's like
Oh, I
Jordan's
remember.
looking at me. I'm like, I'm out of this band. I'm getting kicked out.
Wait, was it actually the first show, or was that the house party show that we? Because or was that was when you were sick? Because you were like still you were playing that.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
sick.
now I know the house party that you're talking about.
I got a car accident.
Was that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the remember that house
Where
party.
we dressed up? It was Halloween. I dressed up as Jesus. What were you?
Yes, I was. What was I? The captain, like a captain of a ship? Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
you were. Yeah.
What were you? Were you penis astronaut again?
I can't remember. Somebody getting
He was the white condom.
No, what was he? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway,
Whatever.
yeah. So
So I remember where I was when I got the call to join the band.
hold on, you're not up yet. You're not up yet. Okay, so he filled in. Actually, I didn't get the role, and so he was like there, but Randall had already committed, and he's like, okay, well, he's gonna play. I can't even actually remember but it was pretty much
You just like kind of fizzled out.
he just kind of just didn't show up anywhere to practices, and Randall did.
Well,
That's kinda-
I thought it was over after that. I'm like, dude, I just fucked this up so bad.
so.
What's my age again?
I put it together after that.
Oh,
But that
okay.
first song was just so bad.
Well, we've all fucked up in the middle of shows. We call them mulligans. So if you ever see a show,
but
call
you
it-
don't fuck up in the beginning of a show.
I did it at Q Without the E in San Diego. Very first song. I was like, I forgot the lyrics like instantly. It was because we were drinking all day because it was at
Yeah, but you
Steve's
go a little mental when it's in the beginning.
hometown. Yeah, his bar he put together. So yeah, I just kind of stopped showing up. Randall became the bass player, and we were playing as Sam, me, Randall, and Bobby at the time. And then what was the next step? What happened?
The Venice West was the next step.
Well, wait. Real quick.
I don't know how much we want to get into this because I'm sure they'll watch it.
Yeah.
Jordan, Sam's like, you did such a good job after the show. I'm like,
Were you not there?
I was so bad. And he's like, you should be in the band. I'm like, all right, cool.
Sam is a great cheerleader though. He's always very supportive.
To keep everybody motivated.
Very supportive. Yeah, so maybe I'll just say this because we could go into a lot of details, but long story short,
There was an altercation.
the singer in that previous band did not really vibe well with me, and then it turned into not vibing well with Sam, and Randall's just oblivious all the fucking time. But
He loved Randall.
he loved her. I mean, who doesn't love someone that's oblivious and just says, "What? Sure, whatever you want." No pushback at all. Anyway, that that fell apart. I pretty much told Sam, I'm like, I joined this band to have fun. I'm not having fun anymore. So like,
well, there was a moment on stage where things were getting a little
on stage in the middle of the show,
a little. No, let's not go with violent, but it was getting a little wordy. I remember I just looked back at Jordan on stage and I was like, "Do you want to start our own emo band?" And he's like,
in the middle of the show.
Yeah,
in the middle of the show. During the bridge, Sam's like, "Hey, should we just move on?"
Well, that's the one time I got mad too. I'm like, when it's all to you guys, I'm like, get your shit together.
But that was, again, it wasn't us. We're like, I mean, you guys didn't even see like some altercations happening, and like I'm facing, as the drummer, I'm facing the audience. I'm just kind of getting this stuff, and I'm like, okay, not the time, you know what I mean? But anyway, long story short,
we don't have to go into it.
We found ourselves without a singer, right? We had a bass player, a drummer, and then Sam, which was the double guitar player, right? So this was late 2002. 2022
or early 2023.
No, it was December.
Was it December?
December. I actually ended up posting on Craigslist to find like a singer or a second guitar player that also sang, because this guy didn't want to play double guitar looping anymore. So I was like, okay, well, we have some options. Like, what do we do? I could move to guitar. I could move to singer. We could find a drummer. We could, there's all these kind of options. We could kind of shift people around. I suggested Jason early on. I was like, I know Jason. He'd be a great drummer if we need a drummer. And Sam's like, I don't want any other drummer besides you.
I was like, he's got it perfect. Like, why change?
This is the best drummer I've ever played with. I don't want to play with anyone else. I'm like, okay, cool. It is what it is. We found another guy, Ron, on Craigslist. Actually, it's funny. He's like, I think he was the first person that responded on like New Year's Eve onto the Craigslist post, and he's like, hey, I play this, and it was like totally the same vibe as us. Like, I think he even knew. I mean, you guys, knew him.
That was a way bizarre thing because
our first practice that Jason
I
shows
walked
up to.
in and I know Ron from years ago, many years ago. I jammed with one of his old bands, and I was just talking about him and that old band literally 2 days before. And so when I came down to jam with you guys, I walk in and I see Ron standing there. I'm like, what the fuck?
No,
I haven't seen you for like 15 years.
Let's actually talk about what happened. So we're all like, we're all setting up, and like Jason walks into the studio and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Ron?" And just like walks over to his drum set and starts setting up, and I'm like,
that's
like,
pretty
you
good.
know this guy?
But like, there was no like.
It was weird for me. I was like, wait, how did the like connection happen before?
Dude,
There was weird for me because I was in Florida the whole time. I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, of course.
Right. and that was one of the things. So we knew that Randall would be gone for a while. So like, okay, we got to figure this out and try to like get someone up to speed for our show that we already had booked at the end of January. And but yeah, Jason just walks in just like,
as Emo Kids now.
We hadn't even changed the name at this point. We were
no name.
We were tossing. We had no name at this point. But yeah, Jason just walks in and is like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" And then just like walks away. There's no like, "Dude, what are you doing here, bro? It's been like 5 years." Like none of that. It was just like, "Oh, hey," and I was like, did I miss something? Me and Sam were
I think I was just like in the mode. I was just like trying to remember all the 2-hour fucking set.
Jason just like,
time.
of course,
I hear
Ron is
you
here.
on that. That's how I get
I was
to.
just like completely just.
You
in the
were
zone.
clearly in the zone. So yeah, we found out they knew each other, which is crazy.
At least
and Ron,
15 years ago.
Yeah, and Ron's a great guitar player, great singer. And we were like, okay, well maybe we'll have like a guitar player singer and be I guess it would be it'd be a 5-piece.
4-piece.
4-piece.
Yeah.
So it would still be a 4-piece. But then it would take care of him not having to loop, and then we'd also have our lead singer. I was always singing backup vocals on the drums, so we already had like everything kind of dialed. Sam was singing more often, and obviously he does the screaming now, so he was doing the screaming. But we got Ron to kind of play. He had to practice, and we realized pretty quickly on like it was like he's either going to be the singer or he's going to be the guitar player. It was like too much, especially in a month or less than a month to like learn all the songs on the guitars perfectly. And
also the other thing is there's a huge difference with having a band as a 4-piece where the singer plays guitar and having a lead singer.
Frontman.
Like when you have a frontman as a band, it completely changes the crowd reaction to the dynamic.
Completely.
It makes everything better when you have somebody that's just interacting with the crowd.
Yeah. All the time. So and had Ron at the time, he'd never been just a lead singer, right? He's always played guitar and sang. So we kind of threw him into like a new element for him, right? And so I think so then I was like, hey, for my birthday show, like I'd love to play a few songs on guitar. Right? I'm like, maybe my buddy can play. I can play like 4 songs, right?
I was like, oh fuck.
And that's when. So he's like,
yeah, you can play.
He's like, all right. And I don't even think Ron came. It was just us 3, right? The first time, wasn't it just us 3 that practiced together, or was Ron there too?
I can't remember. But.
Anyway, so Jason comes in the very first time that we're practicing, and I
Sam allowed another drummer.
I did, yeah.
So I grab my guitar.
Begrudgingly.
He's got his setup. So that's what it was. Was I playing bass while he was gone, or was I playing the guitar and?
I think you were playing bass while he was gone.
Okay, so we did this practice. We did this practice, and like Sam, like first song, he looks over at Jason like, what the fuck? What did you bring me here? And Sam's like really polite. He'll kind of like let it slip every once in a while now, but like he's like I never thought I'd find a better drummer than you, but fuck, this guy's way better. And I'm like, hey, settle down, Sam. Like, don't gotta say it like that. I think I'm a pretty fucking good drummer, but Jason is a true. He was in fucking marching band. Okay, that's how fucking nerdy drummer this guy is. I wasn't in that shit. Band, I learned how to play drums by listening to the Travis and what's it, Enema of the State. That's how I learned drums. This guy like knows his paradiddles and
he
all
also
this
went
shit.
to MI.
I went to MI.
He went to MI.
That's what brought me to California.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's also sucked a lot of drummer dicks, so he's done his time. He knows how to handle some sticks, if you know what I mean.
But great compliments coming from a 4-drummer band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is also a bad thing because
I'm
we
not
all
bad.
know-
I can play a beat, dude.
You can play a beat. Yeah, not that great. But you can play it.
4.5 drummer band.
Yeah, sure. I guess
4 and 1/4.
I would say maybe like 1/8, 1/8, 4 1/8. But yeah, so Jason just crushed it, and then so at the end of the practice, Sam just like, hey, how about you just learn all the songs that we need 2 guitars for? Jordan will then play all the songs we need 2 guitars. So like, and it went from me playing 4 songs on guitar,
which eventually became every song.
right, and then it was like, okay, we'll learn 15. So we like, okay, fine, we'll learn 15. So how our show went that day was like, Ron was singing lead, and then I played the first half of the set on drums, and we had Randall obviously. Everyone was back, and then halfway through the set, Jason comes up, and then I grab my guitar and I start playing that. So we finished the set. It was like probably 15 and 15, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it went great. That was the last time we did that though. You're like, now you learn every song and you learn every song on rhythm.
I remember when I played that, I was like, man, going forward, I want to play the entire set for sure.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah.
Is that the same show that
You're
Nicole
coming
got
home
in the
with us
fight?
now.
Hey,
You're coming home.
no. That was with Bobby in December.
Oh yeah, that was,
Yeah. So Randall has another side story, but one of the first times we played Venice West, his fiance got into like a full-on brawl towards the end of the set. Luckily it was towards the end of the set, but like we're in the middle of Until the Day I Die, I think, and like Randall drops his bass and like jumps off the stage. So
Well,
like,
I didn't see the fight. I saw Randall jumping off stage. I'm like, what's going on? And then I see like one chick just like punching another chick on the floor. I'm like, whoa!
Hey, do not mess with a Puerto Rican.
don't mess with a Puerto
Say
Rican. There's your lesson there. So yeah, I mean, so from there, Jason learned all the songs on drums. I learned the rest of the rhythm guitar sections, and then and Ron, he did how to find first show. He didn't know all the lyrics perfectly, and he was like, okay, well, it's the first show, and we gave him like 3 weeks to learn it. So we're like, okay. Sam was still at that point we're now a 5-piece, right? And then Randall had some family problems or some family issues, right? He had to go out of town and to Miami, right? Miami.
Oh yeah. We had a family loss.
Yeah, so he had to be gone for some shows that we already had planned, and I had to jump in on bass, and I was like, I think it was literally one show on guitar, and I was like, nah, you're bass, and I was like, fuck, okay. Luckily, rhythm guitar is fairly similar to the bass stuff, so it wasn't a huge transition.
The bass players really
and bass players are not talented at all, so it was perfect. I could turn half my brain off for the show. It was the first time I ever.
The whole reason I picked up the bass is because it's like I'm dumb.
Well, we already talked about why he played the bass, because it's like, okay,
it brings out my stupidity.
this guy's a jock. He can play the bass, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you kill it.
Pluck one string.
So was it only one show that I played bass and then back to it was maybe one or two?
You did a few though, because remember kept getting delayed.
Okay, so what happened then? I guess maybe I had played a couple shows on bass, and then did you come back? I'm trying to get to where Steve now joined the band.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, there was a point where we were.
Did you come back and then you had to go again? Is that what happened?
I think that's when he tried to replace Steve with me. Or he tried to replace me with Steve.
No.
Oh,
you've never.
Wow, you
Yeah,
said
that
throwing
was like
shade.
his whole
You
plan.
said throwing shade.
Yeah, and I called Steve. I'm like, Steve, just play guitar, please. Keep me in the band.
That's why he's sitting next to Steve right now because he owes him his career.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
I'm like,
Well, I
Steve,
gotta say,
Steve, give me one, bro.
You're
We're
missing
friends.
missing the whole section of the story where Ron's not in the band anymore.
Well, I guess that's what it was. Okay, so that was the transition. So we played a few shows with Ron, and
Yeah, it wasn't the right fit.
this
That's
guy.
the
I hate
best,
Randall, by the way. Cut to that. Just let me. I hate Randall. Anyway, so then we had shows coming up, and we're like, fuck, we need to find a singer. I think I went back to Craigslist instantly again.
By the way, I objected to him being the singer. I was
Oh,
like,
hold on.
You're getting there.
I was like,
Hold the
oh,
fuck.
man.
This guy's like king of jump the story. Like, all right, so
He's got his
we
jump
had
to conclusions.
we had
Matt.
we had shows coming up. We had shows coming up, and we're like, okay, well, we got to find a fucking singer. I went to Craigslist. I went to some like old people that had already messaged the December Craigslist, right? Trying to find another solution again. I'm like, how should we figure this out? We can't kick Jason out now because Sam has a boner for him now. He already took over on that love affair. And so I was like, okay, well, if we find a singer, I could move to singer. Sam could loop guitars. We could have someone else play guitar. Like, what should we do?
It's like, back to looping. Fuck.
Right. So we actually or someone suggested, maybe it was Randall, I can't remember who, but someone suggested like we should go to like one of those emo karaoke nights and see if there's any singers there that like
That's
are
Sam.
good.
Sam
Is that your
did that.
suggestion?
Yeah.
So Sam and I actually went to Karaoke Time Machine. Check them out. They're great.
They're great.
We went to check them out for one of their emo nights, and did we contact Pete before?
We did. And then we talked
Yeah,
about we talked to him on the phone for like an hour.
Oh yeah, I think we were like,
because we wanted him to be the singer.
well, I think he like talked
yeah,
about
that's right.
like, being a
He
singer.
responded,
But he's like, I think we started out being like, hey, is there have you seen any talent there? Do you know anyone that like frequents your shows as a good singer? And we're like, he's like, nah. I mean, maybe that's putting him on blast. But at least no one that would maybe
he
be.
said it in a much politer way than that.
Yeah. Well, that
He's
was
like, occasionally we have some pretty good people come up, but a lot of times.
why don't you come by and check it out?
Exactly.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. But he expressed interest in potentially joining the band too. So we're like, okay, well let's go by, see if there's a singer there, but also like talk to him. And it was a fun time. We had a great time. I'm still fucking salty. I didn't get to sing Honestly by Cartel, so boo. But
he's just gonna be like, we'll come out to the next one.
right, I'm not signing up for that shit and then skipping me, man. You're running a racket. So, but then he's like, yeah, I'll fill in for you. But are you looking for like someone to be like full-time band member, or are you looking for just like a hired gun? And we're like, well, we want to build something, right? So we want someone that wants to be invested in this and is not really thinking of it as a paycheck, but more like an investment in their time. And he's like, well, I'll fill in for you but you got to pay me for every show. And we're like, we're not really making much at all. And it was, I think, it would probably be all we made at some of these shows. And so Randall reluctantly kind of was forced into letting me become singer because, again, he's known me for now years as a drummer.
I think I heard a quote from Randall that just was absolutely not.
Well, the same with you though. Like he's such a good drummer. That's what.
But here's the thing: it's like every time that Jordan has changed a part, I've been reluctant because it's like, oh god, he's doing great at this. It's like, why do I want him to fucking move? And then he just ends up being better than I thought he would. And it's like,
But
why did I even tell him?
To be
no?
honest, so like emo music fits your voice,
It does.
All right.
and that's where I was very wrong.
Okay.
And I admit it.
So actually, let me tell you a story now that kind of maybe leads into this. So before our band, at however old we were, I was 19, you were like 17. So we had the same situation where we were in a band prior to that called Simply Lost, and we had another singer. And same thing as how like band dynamics go. The singer ended up leaving that band, and now we're kind of like a band without a singer. So we're like trying to figure out how to, who's going to be our next singer. How do we do this? And again, we had house parties and stuff, and different bands would come by and stuff that we played with in town and whatever. And we had a drummer that came by, and I was like, dude, I could totally sing, man. Like, let me sing. I'm already singing backup vocals. I can sing. Trust me. He's like, no, man, you're a drummer. Same attitude that Sam had when he's like, you're the only drummer. You're the best drummer, man. I don't want to play with anyone else. And I was like, dude, I can do it. I swear.
Yeah, but truth be told, like, I put my whole career into being in a band. Like, I didn't go to college. I did go to college, but I stayed home.
Look at how your story
put
changes.
It all in.
Look at that.
Put it all in. So, like, Jordan, are you gonna be that person or not? You're such a good drummer. Like,
but again, I was like, I can do this, bro. I can do this. And he's like, no, you're not. So
but I was nervous.
So we're like smoking hookah in one of our garages, right? And like one of the other bands there. What was the band name at the time? Garrett and Brent's band name. Remember? What was it? I can't remember. Sorry, guys. But they were in a band, and Garrett starts playing guitar, I think, right? And Brent, their drummer, just starts singing, right, in our garage while we're smoking hookah. And Randall's like, there it is, right? So
who was it? Who's the drummer?
So me being a drummer,
I think I was traumatized from Simply Lost and Nate, to be honest.
So moving from drummer to singer was off limits to Randall, but another drummer moving to singer was totally fine with Randall. Let's just put it that way, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, Brent now becomes our singer, right? And we'll go.
Brent Weiss?
Yeah, we'll go into the past.
Look how good his shit is right now.
Hold on,
Like,
we'll go into past bands and that stuff later. But now, fast forward to this point, Randall's like, "You're never gonna be a fucking singer." And we kind of had to. So we had one practice.
I do think he's like that drummer. Like, I want to be the front person. You know?
Did you ever get that from me? I would like try. I'll be guitar. I'll be bass. I'll be whatever. I just want to play this.
Every drummer wants to be the front man, right?
Oh my god.
No.
Jay, you
not
want
at
to be
all.
a drummer or your front man?
No, not at all.
All right. Fuck
He
you.
just wants to get
Absolutely
laid
not.
24/7.
No. You give me a mic on the front of the stage, I'll freeze up.
So now, flash forward to this point, he's like, "No, you're not gonna be a singer." But we had a show coming up, so our options were,
Craigslist or Jordan.
it was or pay or hire gun or whatever. So he's like, "Okay, whatever. Let's try a practice." We try to practice. I'm like, "Here's the thing. I know I can sing these songs, but for like singing these songs this high for 2-hour plus sets, I was like, I don't know if I could do that." But we ended up doing a practice, and I ran pretty good. I was like, okay, my voice isn't killing me, so that's a good sign. I mean, I could potentially do this show. Let's try it out. And we didn't have. I think at the time we went back then to you looping, right? And you weren't playing to a click yet at that point.
No, I always play do a click.
No, did he?
He always played to a click. Yeah,
I would have remembered if I didn't play to a click because I would have
always played to a click.
Anyway, so. Now we're back to a 4-piece.
It's like, I know when he's not playing to a click. It's like last night when we were practicing, it's like his brain will fart and then he'll just start playing like a 90 beat per minute song at like 220. It's like all of a sudden like the kill is punk rock. I'm like, what?
So now we're back to a 4-piece because we're not out of I was playing guitar. Now I moved to a lead singer. We played our first show in Riverside at the Concert Lounge, and then maybe we had a show or two, but then I think Randall had something else to go to, and we had some really cool opportunity to play a show at the Garden Amphitheater in Garden Grove, and Randall was gone again, out of town, and I was like, Randall's out of town, should we take it? And we're like, this is too cool, we got to play it, right? So that's how I was like, okay, well, like who should, now we have to have someone play bass, like who should we have? And so Jason, you take over now.
So this is how Jason tried to replace me.
This is how,
never the case. Never the case.
It's almost happening still. He's almost there.
We were talking about it right over here in the studio at a rehearsal, and I was like, well, what about Steve Chung? And I was like, wait a minute. He lives in San Diego, though. I don't know if he's going to be willing to drive all the way here for practices and shows and all that.
Were you wrong?
And you were like, well, just hit him up. Let us know what he says. And I remember I called you, which I never... What's up?
No, I was going to say, did you even warn me? I thought you reached out to him first.
No. I was like, I'm going to reach out to
he's trying to replace me the whole time.
Relax.
I remember, vividly.
He's like, we need some diversity in the band.
I mean, well, you're Latin, so that's kind of, you know.
it was like eight.
We have 3.5 white people in the band. We need
You're not brown enough, Randall.
I'm not even close. Yeah. No point.
Well, because we really needed someone who could handle some backups too. I remember
We really
And it
need
was-
somebody that could actually play
And it
the
was
bass.
short notice.
very short notice.
Like 30 songs in 2 weeks or something.
Right. Tall order.
You got this right, bro. 30
Yeah.
songs, 2 weeks.
But I
was
remember,
nervous.
and I love telling this story. I called Steve, which we never call each other.
Yeah.
We just pick.
We
up
only call
from
if
wherever
we're
we-
like in town. Like, yo, what do you have? Like,
exactly.
I'm
We'll
coming.
text or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you get a call from me, there's something going on.
happening.
Is that the same thing when you guys go to Vegas?
for better or for worse.
What's that?
For the, yeah.
But yeah, I called you. It was like 8:30 at night or something like that. I took the dogs on a walk, and I was like,
He's
"Hey,
like, I gotta find a replacement for Randall.
I've been scheming for months now.
Man, I can't. He cannot be on like the kick with me. I hate this stuff.
just no rhythm at all." No, but I remember it took 2 seconds. I didn't finish my sentence. I was like, "Hey, are you interested?" And he was like, "Yes." He cut me up. Yes. When do I start? It's like you knew exactly
I
what
knew
I was
what you were
about to ask
calling
you.
for because we had already talked about it
It's like I've been
for a
waiting
second
for this.
prior
Yeah.
to that. Like, I was like, dude, I saw you're playing with Emo Kids.
So you
Cool.
guys were planning my departure before.
Man.
Jesus
Never.
Christ.
That was never the case.
Well, that was the weird thing. I wasn't.
The second I called Jason, he's like, okay, I'll be in your band, but how do we get Randall?
I think I remember too. Seeing Ron in all the promo, and then all of a sudden Jordan singing, and then I was like, something's off. So when I got the call
Hey,
from
fuck
you,
you.
literally like that, the week of, I knew exactly what it was.
yeah, something was. Yeah.
But we had this whole conversation, so this is even funnier. We had this whole conversation.
How
Cool,
do you
yeah.
kick Randall out of the band?
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's the thing. Your name
Someone
never
take
even
his
came
other
up.
name.
Mute his mic.
It's not all about you,
Your
motherfucker.
name never came up.
Your name because about towards the end we were talking details about songs, like where, location, rehearsals. I was like, cool, so you'll send me the song, let's wait. What instrument am I playing?
Yeah.
we
Never
didn't even
forget
get
that.
to that part.
Well, wait, what am I?
Because
playing?
in my
What do you
head
want
I
me
was
to
like,
play?
Jason's like, yes.
Because in my head I was like, you have Randall.
Now he's like, fuck.
But you
get
said
rid of
you
Randall.
said I was filling in, and so I was like, so I didn't know, and then you're like, oh, it's on bass. I was like, oh,
It's like we don't know yet.
Damn.
So just so you know, I had this like weird fantasy beforehand because
They
I
kicked
saw
me out the band.
no fucker where I would see
Seven.
you guys online. And I was like, damn, that's
They're
cool.
counting, yeah.
I want to be in a band like that. I should start my own Emo Kids band like out in San Diego. And I was like, nah, maybe they'll like need a guitar player, and if they post anything, I'll say something. And then you hit me up about bass. And then while the week I was rehearsing, that's when you called me from a show you played with Nick Pucci. The three of you were talking to me on the phone, and Randall comes on. I was like, yo, Steve, I heard you're trying to fucking steal my position. Literally the first thing he said.
I don't even know if I know this story.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I'm talking on the phone. Jason, you guys had just finished a show in February. I'm on the phone with Jason and Nick and Randall, at this point, like I haven't even seen Randall in like 7 years. Let alone
This
talk
is
to him.
Jock Randall coming right now.
And then he was like, yeah, dude, once you're done playing bass, you're going to join our band and play guitar, right? And I was like, ha ha ha. Yeah, maybe.
You see my
guess-
insecurity right now?
Yeah, we could just reeking right
But that's ended up,
I can
that's,
smell it through the
that's what ended up happening. I mean,
Yeah.
we just sorry, Randall, but without you, the four of us, we killed it on that.
You guys
on
are
that
so much
locker room.
better without me. It's ridiculous.
I remember when you came in with some of the harmonies, and I saw
Oh,
the look
it's
on
milky.
Jordan's face and Sam's face. I was like, yeah, they like.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Why
like-
do I like Steve after the first practice? I was like, wait a minute, he knows everything and he's cool as fuck.
Yeah, I saw you
Like, whoa,
talking
who is
shop,
like,
talking
damn.
guitars and shit.
I just want to point out though, like the like when Jason
I
said
just-
like, oh, Steve's down. He's like, I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
you saying
hell
that, and I was just like, I don't know this guy. But then like Steve shows up, and like the vibe's just awesome from the start. I was like, wait, is he really down to keep driving from San
Right.
Diego?
Sure
I didn't
is.
even know at the time.
Sure is.
He thought he was just filling in for one show. So that takes us to after we played the Garden Amphitheater show. We're like, hey, so Steve, that was cool. You wanna keep doing that? And then Randall came back and like I I personally never really even knew Steve was a guitarist
actually,
at all.
we got 2 more show offers while he was still gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, do you want to book? One was Yamava and one was in Reseda.
Oh, that's right. Yamaha,
and I
that's
played
right.
those on bass before I even touched a guitar.
That's right.
True.
That's right. Yeah, and then Randall came back, and then how'd that conversation go? We're like, well, we want this guy in. It's so like, but I didn't know he'd play guitar.
I'm just like, I want to set
I was
pedal on
pissed.
fire. Let's
No,
fight
I'm
Steve.
kidding.
Like,
Randall was not pissed. We got
No, I'm
his
kidding.
full
Like
blast.
to the
Oh
group-
no, I remember now. I remember. You actually were supposed to play the second show in Reseda with us.
Hey, you took my job.
The goal was for me to come down after the first show, and you're like, I think it was just like casually brought up that night we were hanging out in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, we had a deal. You only played one
And-
time for me. You took the
Yeah.
rest of my
No, dude, you got an opportunity. You were gone. You missed it, fucker. No, but so we actually had a second rehearsal where I came with a guitar and we were practicing as if we were going to play a 5-piece. But then right before the second show, I got the news like you have to play bass again.
Oh, that's
Story of my
right.
life.
You sound really sad.
Story of my
You said that.
fucking
Well, it was
life.
a lot of work. You had
And
to learn
so-
all this
Well,
part.
no, but hey, but real quick.
In
for,
fact, I remember
for
because
the audience, real quick. Love this guy. Like he makes it
thanks, buddy.
real easy for me to be in this band. He can do both. So
Yeah.
this is all jokes for the whole crowd.
Makes it really easy for me to not be in this band. It's really what you just
No, like it's
He loads
awesome
his gear
having you.
for him.
I'm pretty sure it was after the first Garden Ave show. It wasn't like officially talked about, but we all kind of understood like, yeah, you should jam with us, because the second rehearsal after the first show I played, I came with my guitar. My guitar was ass, and you had already brought your telly, and you're like, hey, I'll sell this to you. That rehearsal, and
you're using my pedal and my amp,
You
right?
sold him a telly?
and then I bought it from him. Our second show in that show Reseda.
So I was like, I love that telly, but for the music that I want to play, like the single coils just don't do it for me.
Yeah.
Any
You guys
humbuckers.
are connected for life now.
Oh, I know.
They're talking more guitar nerd shit. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I've upgraded that. I put
I'm a
some work
Gibson
and
guy,
some
not a
money
Fender
into
guy,
it.
so.
It's nice. So yeah, that's pretty much leaves us to us now.
So there's a little bit more to that story, and you reminded me by saying that. So like I had in my guitar pedal that I was using, and it has a really cool thing with Line 6. Line 6, sponsor us if you want. That has like a pitch thing. We're playing some songs like in E flat, D flat, and all over the place. And like usually you would have to tune in or have a separate guitar, right?
Yeah, like so in a dream world, you have a guitar tech and like 5 guitars with all different tunings. Then the guitar tech just brings it out to you,
Right.
and you don't have to press a button. But
That's
thankfully,
great.
technology
I just fell
lets us
asleep.
press a button.
So anyway, without getting too nerdy, I had the guitar pedal. I had a guitar amp because I was playing rhythm guitar, obviously at the beginning of the story. And I just started letting Steve borrow it. And at a certain point, he's like, can I buy this? And I'm like, how about you just buy me a wireless mic and we'll
that's
just like call it off. So he technically bought my equipment by buying me a wireless mic. So
Fair trade.
So yeah, ever since then, this has been the group. Obviously, Randall has had his back problems, but thankfully, Steve started on bass. So when he has to take over on bass, it's kind of like coming home.
I'm ready to jump on vocals and drums too when you fuckers.
Maybe we'll do it. We're actually talking about doing a rotation sometime where all of us play a different instrument. We'll see
Fire band.
We'll see how that goes. But anyway, that takes us to the end of part 1 of our very first episode. We're gonna have to wrap it up and you'll have to do to next week's part 2. But before we do, we're gonna go through our weekly segments that we go to. So the first thing we want to do is we go through reviews, right? So we can review equipment, albums, concerts, movies, food places if you're talking to Randall.
Adult toys.
Adult
Toys. Sponsorships. Hey.
So if you're looking at any adult toy companies. So
COVID's over. We know
Adam
you're
and
hurting.
Eve.
So we're gonna start off with the new Blink album review. We know it came out last year in October, or was it November? Anyway, it came out. We just want to review that real quick. Who wants to start with that review?
8.5.
8.5.
All right,
Do you want to
strong.
back it up with any words?
It feels authentic.
I would do this out of
More
10.
than you know makes me want to cry every time.
I'm not a big fan of edging, but I feel like a lot of the other songs.
I don't even really count that as part of this album. They've like released it so far in advance. I feel like I know it is, but you know,
Like the top 9 is great till you get to edging. And then I like a couple of their songs after.
I gotta say, my biggest review is Travis Barker crushed it producing that.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah,
so well produced.
I didn't know that at first.
I love that he.
know,
I love that he
found
has
later.
double kick. I love that he played double kick too. Oh, finally, that's crazy. But love that he did that. I think the song was probably, or that album was probably one of my favorites of theirs, maybe since Self-Titled. Yeah, I would say it's probably my favorite album since Self-Titled. I still think Enema of the State is the best Blink-182
I
album
agree. I
in my
agree,
opinion. Feel free to disagree. Actually, does anyone disagree with that?
I like
agree
their
with that.
self-titled a lot because I kind of like their oh man, I can't even remember the names of some of those songs. I'd have to pull it up on my phone, but they just changed direction so heavily.
Wait,
Right
are you
there.
talking like
and my first concert was Blink-182 on that tour. That was my first ever concert when they were supporting their self-titled album. So like that kind of has a special place in my heart. But
Okay. Anyone else?
Is that the Skiba?
no.
Yeah.
Self-Titled, get the fuck out of here. He kicked out. Now he's officially set. Steve, your bass.
I miss you feeling this. That's that album.
I didn't really like that album.
It's a great album.
Okay, what's your favorite Blink album then?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely Enema of the State.
Enema State, all right. Steve, how about you review the latest Blink?
Well, before I say that, I'll say that first. I think probably Take Off Your Pants is my favorite. Self-Titled is second, and then,
But why do you guys like
classic
self-titled so much?
because it's good, and they changed their sound.
Yeah, but
It is very unique. Like there are a lot of.
I think
They pushed the norm when they were getting
they
boxed
pushed them
in,
unique, but that
boxed
just
into a
wasn't
punk
that.
band. What do you mean?
Oh,
that was
Go,
that's how the
Always,
next
Easy Target,
20 years of albums
I-
sounded.
Those songs were great.
The next 20 years of albums, Angels and Airwaves, Plus 44, sounded all like the self-titled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think
all suck.
I think
You have to remember that Blink has sounded more like the Blink they do now, longer than they ever
Yeah.
sounded.
Blink sounded
old
great when
Blink.
they got back
You know, that
together
just
and they
makes
got
me
back
feel
to their
old.
roots.
That's how old we
That
are.
is true. Here's the thing. Okay, I now remember what I was talking to you guys about this. This is the one thing that I think disappointed me about the latest album is one of the things I loved about Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket and even Dude Ranch, right?
Is more riffy.
Tom had so many good fucking riffs. They were so good. And the songs were riff driven, super catchy, and like literally since Self-Titled, in my opinion, it's all been power chords city. That's all it is. And so like they still write some catchy stuff, and Travis Barker, again, just percussionist, amazing. He always does something wild. But yeah, to me they lost a lot when they kind of moved away from just catchy riffs, and that's what I missed in this new album. I love Travis Barker to death. Sometimes I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I think he does too much.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Sometimes
And-
just
you know what?
a little too much.
I'll go down with you.
You're going down. Someone's going down with me.
Hey, guys.
Travis Barker, I love you, but
No
I'm
disrespect
feeling
whatsoever.
this. That song sucks.
feeling this.
I hate that song.
I hate that song. I don't like. I think First Date's probably their worst song of all time.
I'm feeling this.
I know
is
that
like
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that,
is
too.
the album single. Like that's like saying, "Oh, I hate
I'm
Korn.
feeling this, dude.
I hate
Dude,
Korn
dude.
because Freak on a Leash is overplayed." It's like the same shit. You're
Freak on a Leash is a good
no,
song.
That's a great song.
I'm saying you're boxing
are you talking
you're
about?
boxing an entire album because of one single. Yes. You're saying I'm feeling this is dumb and it's stupid.
Yeah,
Blah,
you
blah.
can't judge a whole
But
album
it's
on
like
one
the
song.
most poppy single.
Stockholm
Commercial.
Syndrome, that
But
song
wait, hey,
sucks
Blink
too,
182
like-
played More Than You Know It when we were young.
that is a great song.
It's a great song.
I just was like, holy shit! Like, I mean, that's my favorite song on the
Guys,
album.
we're gonna have to edit the shit out of this part.
When I saw that,
What? You had the Blink hate? So much Blink hate.
when
right
I
now.
saw them play that at when we were young, I was like 3 football fields back at least, and I could like barely see them, and they were tiny. But like the flames were going crazy, the lights were crazy, but just like the way they played that, I felt that authenticity.
What? Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm talking about. Blink is good when they're authentic.
Yeah, and now they're authentic
when
again.
When they try to get weird, they're not talented enough. Like me, I can't. I'm not
You're
that
always
good.
weird.
I know, but that's why I'm not good. I have to be with you guys. I have to play my simple shit.
So, any other thoughts on the new album? We kind of spanned the Blink catalog and not so much the album. Any other thoughts on that before we move on?
I think it's good.
I think it's great. I give
More Than You Know is one of the best songs I've ever done.
All right. So the
And same
next
as Bad News. I love that song.
The Anthem Part 3 was great.
I like that too.
Track.
Yeah.
Not my favorite
Oh
anthem.
yeah. I want to see that video.
In my-
They filmed it at the Denny's in Long Beach.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
with the live
Yeah.
live performance they did over there?
Yeah.
Or, oh, no
that
shit.
was they were filming the video for Anthem. Part
Oh, no
3.
shit.
Yeah, you
Oh,
should
I
know.
didn't
You
know
love
that.
Moons Over Miami.
Late at night, Denny's.
Denny's in
Denny's is the move.
Houston, Texas. 3 a.m.
If you're in a band, you know that Denny's is the move after
Oh, yeah.
every
Yes.
show. It is the move. Okay, so we're gonna go to our next segment that we're gonna try to do every single week. It's quote of the week, and usually our quotes come from who, guys? Who do they come
God.
I hate you.
Jason.
They usually come from Jason.
Oh.
Jason usually has the goofiest quotes, and out of context, they're going to mean absolutely nothing. And maybe we'll try to give you some context, but some of these, we've started this list a while now, and I'm just going to give you one, right? And I'm trying to decide which one we
This
should
is all
start
a
with.
surprise to me.
Which is so he doesn't even know which one we're going to do. So I'm going to say this is the first quote we're going to start our very first podcast with.
Sure. What's the context?
I don't know the context. I can't even remember.
Wait, Jordan, can you ask him what his Tinder opening line is?
Do you have a Tinder open?
I do not have a Tinder.
No, he doesn't have a Tinder.
I don't need a Tinder.
Pancakes or waffles?
He's in a band. He doesn't need a Tinder.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Why the fuck would I need a Tinder, man?
Anyway,
Is
quote-
Tinder even relevant anymore?
I don't know.
now it's Bumble, right? Is Bumble the thing?
Bumble, yeah. Well, Bumble's more serious.
What's your opening line? Come on, tell us, dude.
You want to see it?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Let's be honest. Randall's already swiped right on you. He already knows. He just wants to see if you're lying about it.
Yeah, but you denied me, so I want to know what's your
send me
opening
a
line.
You
Send me a
swiped right.
screenshot.
Exactly. Yeah, he got denied from that one, so he's salty about it. So can I say the quote of the week now? Can I go?
I still want to hear his opening line.
Are you ready for this?
Is that your opening line? That's a good opening
Are you ready
line.
for
I
this?
love
All
that,
right,
dude.
I love
That's
that.
it.
That's great.
Are you
I'm
ready
just
for
saying the
this?
girl sabotaged by BC Boys. Ready for
Jesus. Quote of the week from
Okay.
Jason.
Oh.
I honestly want to know the context so bad, but this is actually the last entry that I have in my phone that I saved these. Save some Katy Perry for the rest of us.
We were talking about Orlando Bloom. I think we were in Hawaii. I think we were talking about Orlando
Okay,
Bloom.
okay.
I love Kingdom of Heaven, by the way. Great movie. I've never seen it.
So
What is that?
Kingdom
Great
of Heaven?
movie.
Dude, you
Fucking
gotta see
great
it. You
movie.
gotta watch
Oh, no,
Kingdom
I've
of
never
Heaven.
seen it.
See it.
Yeah.
It's not a religious movie, even though it sounds.
Okay. Meryl Streep or what?
Huh?
Meryl Streep?
Okay, guys.
God loves it.
Last section. Last segment that we're gonna do before we wrap up our part one of our episode. Ready?
Are we measuring dicks?
Fan questions. Are we measuring dicks? Randall's like, yes, finally.
I got 4 inches.
He's been trying to see everyone's dick in his band for years.
I've been jealous.
He's like collecting them like Pokemon cards. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go to fan questions. So let's do the first one. Let's do the very first fan question ever. You ready for this? Who wants to start? What is your day job?
I hate my job. That's all I'm going to say.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start?
Sam hates his job.
I hate my job.
I'm a bartender.
He's slanging drinks, getting
Slanging
people fucked
drinks. Yes.
up. Randall?
I work in advertising. I build websites, PR.
He's a digital producer, if you know what that means.
Yeah.
Or senior, mega, ultra digital producer.
I'm a loser by trade.
I actually work in advertising. Actually, I got Randall into advertising. I got him his real first job, but I'm more on the account side. I'm the content guy for the band too, so I would say I'm more of a content director, creator, I guess you would call it. But yeah, I've been working in advertising for quite a long time as well.
I'm
Sam-
Don fucking Draper.
You were not Don. You're like
I know. That's the whole reason I went in advertising.
you're like
It's a big
the-
fucking lie.
you're the guy underneath Don Draper that just does what Don Draper says.
Exactly. I got fucking hose.
Yes, man.
He's the yes man. So Sam, you're not going to say anything else. Just he hates.
That's
his job.
it.
Jason, what's your job?
Shit, I've been in the adult film industry for now like
Jason's fucking Don Draper.
7 years.
They call him J-Hog.
It's all anonymous.
Horatio, fellatio.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason lives in Chatsworth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Porn Valley.
I work in sales.
There you go.
He works for a company.
Realistically,
He's
I
in the
work in
mo-
sales, payment processing. I
Hey,
work in
his
sales,
company
yeah.
starts with O. F.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
He's in the mob, guys. Okay, that's really what he does.
I can
Anyway,
tell you.
thanks so much for hanging with us for part one of our first episode ever. Come back next week for the next one. We'll see you later.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World. No.
Party time.